This was the Mavericks locker room after the game on April 3, 2026. They lost the game, yet they were celebrating a historic performance. The Mavericks hosted the Orlando Magic. With 2 minutes and 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter, the score was 125-136. Playing at home, they had virtually no chance of coming back, yet not a single fan in the arena was sitting down. When Cooper Flagg drove to the basket, finished through contact, and completed the and one to reach 51 points on the night. At 19 years and 104 days old, Cooper Flagg became the youngest 50-point scorer in NBA history. The previous record belonged to Brandon Jennings at 20 years and 52 days. In this game, Cooper played 34 minutes, going 19-4-30 from the field, 6-4-9 from 3, and 7-4-7 from the free throw line, finishing with 51 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block. He scored 24 points in the fourth quarter alone, but the Mavericks still lost the game 127-138. A night of personal greatness was overshadowed by the loss. Let's go back years earlier. In the winter of 2006, Cooper was born in Newport, Maine. It was a small town with just over 3,000 people, with only one Walmart and a few run-down outdoor courts. Maine is almost a blank spot on the American basketball map, and the last time someone from there was drafted into the NBA was back in 1984. Cooper's parents were both standout local players. His mother, Kelly, was the captain of the University of Maine women's team and led them to a win over Stanford as a senior. That victory remains one of the biggest wins in the program's NCAA history. His father, Ralph, also played at Eastern Maine Community College. Kelly once joked that she married Ralph because of his 6'9" height, hoping it would give their kids an edge in basketball. The Cooper family's basketball journey started on a small space in front of their garage. His father installed a hoop there. Year-round, the three brothers battled each other on that court. In the winter, Cooper would always be the first to shovel the snow, then shoot with gloves on. The Cooper parents loved standing by the window, watching their sons go at each other. Every time, within 30 minutes, one of them would kick the ball away and storm inside, slamming the door. By second grade, with only 6 or 7 kids his age around, Cooper was already playing 2 or 3 games a day and still wanted more. Kelly eventually had him play against 5th graders. In his first game, the 2nd grader put up 20 points and 15 rebounds, like it was nothing. In high school, Cooper chose Nokomi's Regional High School, his parents' alma mater, where his older brother had also played. He carried his parents' expectations, hoping to play alongside his brother. As a freshman, he led the team to a 21-1 record in a state championship. In the title game, he had 22 points and 16 rebounds, nearly half of the team's total scoring. He was named the state's Player of the Year as a freshman, putting the previously unknown school on the map overnight. The entire town held a parade for him, and the brothers became local heroes. But the town couldn't contain his talent. The level of competition in Maine was simply too low. To challenge him further, his parents made a major decision. They sold their home and moved to Florida so he could transfer to Montverde Academy, a national powerhouse. But the reality there was far harsher than expected. In his first season, Cooper averaged fewer than 10 points per game. Criticism came immediately. The media labeled him as someone who could only dominate at lower levels. That was the first time he had truly been doubted. The turning point came in the summer of 2022. He made the USA U17 national team. At the World Cup, he averaged 10 rebounds and nearly 3 blocks per game, helping Team USA win gold and earning all tournament honors. Then at the Nike EYBL, he exploded for 52 points and 12 rebounds in his debut. Across the circuit, he averaged 32 points, 8.7 rebounds, and 5.3 blocks. He answered every doubt with his play. In his second season at Montverde, his numbers jumped again, leading the team to a perfect 28-0 record and solidifying his status as the #1 high school player in the country. In his senior year, Montverde went 33-0 and won the national championship. Cooper averaged 16.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 2.7 blocks, sweeping both the Gatorade National Player of the Year and the Naismith National Player of the Year awards. Many believed his time at Duke would just be a formality, but in reality, Duke had first contacted him when he was only 14 or 15 years old. At Duke, he was paired with another five-star recruit, Con Kneppel, as roommates. They had no connection in high school and had completely different personalities. Kneppel liked to wake up early and knew sports history inside and out, with old magazine covers all over his walls. Cooper preferred watching shows, with only a few family photos on his wall. But once they stepped on the court, their chemistry clicked immediately. Kneppel later explained, "We didn't know each other before, but we grew up and were trained in very similar ways." Cooper was the unquestioned centerpiece, while Kneppel was the perfect Robin. That season, Cooper averaged 19.2 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 4.2 assists, leading the team in 6 statistical categories. He swept nearly every major individual award in college basketball, becoming the first freshman since Anthony Davis to do so. Before the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament, a teammate interviewed players in the locker room with a microphone. Cooper jokingly asked, "If the world ended, what 3 things would you bring?" After thinking for a moment, he answered, "Food, a gun, and Kneppel." That wasn't a joke. He truly valued his roommate above everything else. At the 2025 NBA Draft, Cooper was selected first overall by the Mavericks. At 18 years and 186 days old, he became the second youngest #1 pick in NBA history. But the NBA is a completely different world. After entering the league, Cooper hit a real wall. At Duke, he lost only 4 games in a season, and even fewer in high school. But the Mavericks went 24-52 this season and suffered a 14-game home losing streak. Cooper later admitted in an interview, "There were a lot of moments this season that were mentally tough for me. I didn't achieve the success I expected, it wasn't the start I wanted, but I've grown along the way, and I have to keep learning." He is still a rookie, a teenager not yet 20 years old, thrown into the reality of the NBA. And it was under those circumstances that April 3, 2026 happened. The youngest 50-point game in NBA history, and the only 50-plus game ever by a teenager. But the game was lost. Yet Cooper didn't complain. This kid from the snowy courts of Maine had already learned how to handle the cold. Now, Cooper is no longer just a kid from a small-town gym in Maine. His name is already in the NBA record books. But maybe what matters most isn't the number 51. It's that in a game already decided, this 19-year-old still scored 24 in the 4th quarter, still finished an and one late, and still had the entire arena on its feet. He lost the game, but he earned everyone's respect. As Cooper himself said, "This isn't the start I wanted, but I'm growing along the way, learning as I go." From the snowy courts of Maine to the bright lights of Dallas, this 19-year-old's greatest trait has never been his talent, but his refusal to give up, no matter the situation. Maybe the best stories aren't